Morning, everybody. It's Demi Keys. Today, I'm gonna talk about the youth, the forgotten people. Their future has been ruined by the government. Failure to come up with any policy, with any preparation for our youngest population. But NUP has got an answer. So, everybody, you are welcome. Share, comment, anything you say.
Fellow Ugandans, for years since Uganda got her independence, there has been declining levels of democracy and rule of law. Billions have been lost in scandals. Mothers have died while giving birth in poor medical facilities, characterized with no medical supplies. Youth unemployment is at its peak, and the education system is alarming. Would you wish for a new Uganda where recruitment is based on merit, not through political patronage? A new Uganda where land and equitable distribution of national resources is secured. A new Uganda where there is justice, respect for human rights, rule of law, and democracy. A new Uganda where there is proper governance, equal access to quality public services, especially health and education. A people-centered Uganda where there is a right to social justice. A new Uganda for liberation, servant leadership, social and economic transformation. A new Uganda where there is an end to poverty, zero tolerance for corrupt practices, gender equality, and a people-centered government. A new Uganda where the future of our children's children is guaranteed. Then vote Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert for President of Uganda 2021-2026. People power. Our power. National Unity Platform everywhere. This message is powered by Echoto, Uganda.
Good morning, everybody. We Echoto Reloaded platform, we shall bring you topics that are going to build our country. They are topics that comes to the bottom, to the heart of ordinary people. Today, I'm talking about the lives of young people, the youth, that it has been ruined by a government which is not looking at their problems, but where we stand that we are looking by, but those in power, they don't have empathy. So I go back to my daily bread, the news. Yesterday we had the news. We keep on talking about the constitution. It's good to know the constitution. Once you are on a political platform to debate, you must say things based on the law, based on the constitution. So yesterday, our deputy spokesman, Alex Waisamufumbela, caught up with the NRM called Chinobe in the studio, and he didn't know anything to do with the constitution. Let me play this clip for I think it's just less than a minute, and you hear the debate which was going on in the studio.
That Ugandans can be killed by police. Why so? Let him explain. And now, this is what you're saying. Give him that chance.
You know, I don't fare well in pleasantry arguments.
Let me finish.
Reasonable force. The question to ask was when these 43 died.
54
or whatever.
Get the numbers. They are Ugandans. I don't care. You must respect.
So these 43 or 54 that died over 100.
I will not. Let's get you. I will not. Wait. I will not. It doesn't matter what you will and what you will not. Or you will not what? Who are you? Look at this. This is what happens
when you call mental dwarfs. Who are sure?
Now, you had the argument that was in the studio. Our deputy was meeting somebody from NRM, and the debate was about the words of Eddie Tumine, whether they were justified, and the NRM government didn't know anything to do with our constitution. I can say it off my head. Article 212A to D, it talks about the roles and the responsibility of the police is to look after the people and our property. It's not to kill. No one is given a right to take out right of people. So here we are now, the youth in Uganda. Their lives, they have been ruined. There's been something that is going on, that's something that the government has ignored for so long. So when you look at the situation in Uganda, is alarming when you talk about young people. We have got 5 members of parliament in Uganda, the youth. What have they done? We have got the biggest population in Uganda. We have got all these sorts of the young people, they are unemployed. They are taken to Saudi Arabia they are taken to Saudi Arabia as slaves. So what are we going to do? Young people, they are faced with the challenges, daily challenges. But these challenges, they are fundamental in their lives. These challenges, they are going to create their lives. They are going to determine Uganda, let alone. Let us look at how the government is ruining the lives of young people. From birth, when children they are born, when mothers they go in labor suit, there is no health care. There is nothing like that. So that in the beginning matters a lot. Baby, the way you have a baby in the beginning, the circumstances, the environment will affect the baby, will make the baby a better person. So when, as they grow up in bad environment, bad circumstances, that will have an impact on their brain, an impact in their behavior, an impact in the way they think. Then they come to the youth. When they grow up as young people, there is challenges when they are teenagers. Teenagers, now what we see under sex marriage, under sex abuse. They are abused sexually. No one cares. Yesterday, I saw people in Roing. They stood up to a counselor who was abusing younger people. So young people, they are being abused. No one cares. These are the things that government should be doing. So when they are teen, they are dismissed. When they are teen, no one cares about the young people. They are teenagers. When they grow, they change. Their genes, they change. The way they think, they change. But what happens in Uganda, they cannot cope. They cannot understand that this is a teenager. We should accept them for what they are. And from teens, they become youth, young people, young men and women, but they have challenges. They don't have jobs. And because they don't have jobs, then they are forced into slavery. That is why we are having people going to Saudi Arabia. They are going to Arabic countries to be maids, to be slaves, because this is what is coming, is building and building and building. And what happens? Those who don't go to Uganda, they get abused. They get manipulated. They get used by politicians when they parade them as young people, as the poor youth, as what? NRM has said they are going to secure the future. I haven't got anything to show they are going to secure the future. NUP manifesto, it proposes to help younger entrepreneurs, to help them, to give them facilities, to help them. But what happens in Uganda, when somebody comes out, young entrepreneur, they have got ideas, then they are pushed to be NRM, their idea is being confiscated, it died down, and they don't prosper. But that is not what NUP proposes to do. NUP is going to help young people, entrepreneurs, all those who have got good ideas. They are going to be helped in so many areas. We have got the foundation as education, as we have Quad A, athletics, academics, arts and agriculture. We are going to find avenues for the young people to go. But what happens when the atmosphere in Uganda is at boiling point, when people they are laughing, when people they are dying, then people they are just excusing themselves. They don't understand. They don't want to know. They don't want to hear about young people. So young people are using one thing they are left with. Lethal. The tongue is lethal. And if it means that they are going to speak in that way, that these people, they listen, then let it be. But when you ignore somebody from young, you are building a nation to fail. You are building broken society. How can you deal with the young people when they cry for jobs and you don't care? Young people, they have got a burden that they lack independence. Now they find themselves living with parents because they cannot find a job to pay them well, to support themselves, to have a separate housing. They are faced with so many problems. And after that, nature takes place. That young people, they want to get married, they want to marry somebody. And that means they cannot afford to pay bride price. They cannot afford for the wedding. So they find themselves as beggars. They find themselves borrowing money. So how can you sustain a family when you have pressures of you, when you have people, they want to take you, they want their money back. So the young people, their lives, it has been ruined by the government failures. And these are failures we should not underestimate. This is where NRM needs to look into. Problem when something erupts in Uganda, no one is looking for the source. There is no smoke without fire. There is always fire. But if you look at blowing out the smoke, it's not going to happen. The challenges of Uganda, because of lack of employment, now they find themselves as slaves, they find themselves misplaced. You find the Ugandans, they are in Brazil, they are in Cuba, they are in Saudi Arabia, they are in UK, they are in Asia, they are in America, very young. They said to you, home is the best. Young people should keep them in Uganda. And if we want Uganda to develop, we should hold on to the young people. We should help young people. This is why, for me, I like NUP manifesto. It says it's going to help younger entrepreneurs, young people. The facilities should be there. We should not be looking at importing in Indians, importing in Panetta, importing in Chinese. We should use Ugandans. We should go by this word, Bubu. Uganda is for Uganda. Build Uganda. Build a young nation. Build the young people. But how are you going to build them when their education is not accessible? How are you going to build them when education is not affordable? How are you going to build them when education is not quality? We can see Otafire, his children was graduating in Cardiff. We can hear Muhozi's son or daughter is in Nottingham University. We can hear Matia Kasaja says, my daughter tells me she's abroad. We can hear Museveni say his children, for him, he prepared them well. They will not have to look for a job. Other parents, they want to look for a job. Museveni, you must remember this. The challenges of Ugandans, homesick. I think people, they don't understand homesick. I've had homesick for many years. I want to be in Uganda. I'm not young. But I left Uganda when I was young, very young, at a very tender age. And the homesick has never gone away. And what Museveni is saying, those people, they can stay there. And then he says, I'm going to diffuse them. Unfair. The challenges of Uganda, as I have talked through the line of Uganda, the challenges of Uganda, the end game is going to be outburst. This is what we saw in the last days. And this is what is going to come tomorrow. I listened to my president, Robert Kyagulanyi, when he said it's a challenge to him. There are going to be a time when he cannot tell, when he cannot stop young people what to do because of the circumstances they go through. Problem in Uganda, young people are not listened to. They are being kept at the back end, at the tail. But if you want to build a nation, if you want to build a family, if you want to build a community, you have to look at the young people. I've got books here that I'm reading. I'm reading The Secrets of Young People, The Child Mind of Young People, A Happy Children, and then talking with the children about things matters. When you don't understand the young people, you struggle. As a parent, as a politician, as community leaders, as teachers, you need to understand the young people. Their lives, they have been ruined. They grow up without anywhere to go. They grow up without employment. What do you expect them to do? NRM says, secure the future. How are you going to secure the future without the young people? Young people now, they find green pastures outside Uganda. They travel by inflated boats. They sink into the sea, they die. Who accounts for that? Young people, we have got a population of young people, 70%. First of all, half of Uganda population, 50%, they are people from 0 to 16. Now they tell you the schools over 1,000, they are going to close because the owners cannot afford. They cannot afford to pay the loans back because parents, they cannot afford to pay school fees. The lives of young people, they've been ruined. I'm listening to Uhuru Kenyatta. One of his departing speeches, he said he wants to build Kenya, which his family, which his grandchildren will be proud of and to live into. But then I listened to Museveni, who says he's only working for his only grandchildren. The circumstances that Museveni doesn't understand, if you work for your grandchildren will have to share whatever you have. Hello, class monitor. Whatever you have, they will have to come after you. You like it or not. Your grandchildren are not going to enjoy the privilege for what you have prepared them. When my children, they don't have it. Either they will be employed, either they will grab it from them. The future of young people in Uganda has been ruined. The future of young people in Europe is being developed, is being protected, is being looked after. By giving them good education, by giving them protection, by giving them life from birth, from pregnancy, that a mother who is pregnant is looked after very well. This is why we see people like Baby Cool, his wife going to America to have a birth. Judith Babili going to America to have a birth. Why? Natasha of Museveni going to Germany to have a birth. Why? Why? Why not have a birth in Uganda? Mulago has got now a private wing. Has got a private wing that to have a normal delivery, you pay 900,000 shillings. Mitwalo chenda okuzaala nga tolinaako kizibu kyonna. Now we are looking at failures of NRM. You fail, young people, you set yourself to fail. Something happens, they will rejoice because that is what is left for them. The lives of young people is ruined, you like it or not, by government failure to create jobs. The lives of young people as we speak for now, it is faced with poverty. Why? We've got young people in prison for their political beliefs. The voices of young people is being shut down. But by nature, young people are not going to keep quiet. You like it or not? I am a parent. All I know, what you have to do, negotiate with your children. If you use power force on them, it will not work. It is locks, crushing. Morning, Helen. Morning, Norias Esther. Morning, Pam Kawankulaba mu studio. Morning, Zara. Njagala nnyo Pam kayagajje wano naye agaana ate wuuyo waali naye yeekweka. For me, I'm concerned about these things. In my life, I got where I've got. I've got nowhere, no higher, no lower. I can go lower. Because the higher you go, the only place you can go is lower. I find myself that I've looked at the lives. I got what I want. It's very little, but I'm satisfied is enough. But I'm concerned about lives of other people. When I'm eating, I'm thinking of somebody who doesn't have food. When I see the benefits of education, I'm thinking about what about other people. But where we stand, Ugandans are selfish. They send money for donation, they send money to build schools, they send money to build hospitals, roads, to look after our social issues. Somebody selfish will grab that money and take it. They build houses, they sleep in houses on the money which is meant to build hospitals, which is meant to build schools, which is meant to create jobs, which is meant to build good roads, which is meant to build social housing. Sometimes I don't understand. When I see this so-called, you call banene politician sleeping in big houses, when they have taken money which is not meant to be them. Look at Jim Mwezi. He took 500 million US dollars, which was meant to be for people suffering from HIV. Look at Mike Mukula, the money is taken. Look at Baram, the money is taken. Look at Tamale Mirodi sitting there and say the government is paying school fees for his children. They are getting government jobs and he's being paid monthly without doing any money. And not even a cutters of thinking. Look at our Chief Justice, saying that it is a fairy tale, it's not a fairy tale. He wants his grandchildren to grow up in Uganda. His grandchildren, they are in the UK. Norwood. His son is a lawyer in the UK. Anthony. He doesn't care. He's keeping the lives of younger people down. Let me tell you something. Young people, they have arrived. Young people, they make the biggest population of Uganda, 70%. If you wanna rule Uganda, you have to look at your biggest population. If you wanna develop Uganda, you look at your biggest population. You look at their needs. You prepare them before they are even born. Mother child, that is what NUP manifesto is saying. A mother, a child will be a gift. At every regional sub-county, we shall have a maternity center. The youngest people, they come at the forefront of politics, but they are being sidelined and dismissed. And you know what? Read our constitution. On the National Council, it is composed of 5, and the youth is one of them. So how comes youth, they are not invited on what they call iPod? How comes youth, young people, that NUP is full of young people, it is being disregarded? How comes that Robert Chagulanyi, they take him as a young person, but they disregard what the National Council is about? Young people, they are one of them. We have 5 members of parliament, youth. What have they done? All these people, NUP, DP, independent, were squeezed out. And what they made is NRM young youth, that they are the one who won 5 places. What have they done? Are they allowed? Have they got stools? So, what I'm trying to tell you is what we face today. Young people, go to Kampala. Get out from 8 p.m. and you see the youngest population on the streets in Uganda. I couldn't believe it. That is the time when they come out. They are jobless. When you have a youngest population, you don't put things there that can attract them and mislead them. Now in Uganda, we have betting shops. The premiership was started. What you hear, akapapura. When you go now, biggest shop in Uganda, they are betting shops. How can you put oil next to the fire? It is going to burn. Should we have those betting shops? No. Should we have them? Yes, but with regulation. Who goes there? Now Ugandans, young people, they are faced that they have got addiction for gambling. We have got a population which is addicted to gambling, that they think I'm going to earn money, let me go and bet the Soviets. Liverpool is playing tonight, maybe it will win. Man City will win, it will win. Then they give in money, then they give them money. That is not the life of a handout. Young people, they are deluded. Young people now, they are misunderstood. Young people for now, no one wants to hear them. For me, I want to listen to young people. This is why when I listen to people, young people, I feel very good. I listen to my young brother, Shama Benefit. Where are you? Ibrahim Kasanda, where are you? Pato is going on strong. Thanks. Daily Stab, good. Somehow, half and half. Young people. We need young people to come out and take on their country. I cannot decide. I maybe decide, but I can use young people I can engage them. What I don't understand in Uganda, they dismiss young people as if they are brainless, that they cannot do anything. But you can sit in the airplane, a captain announces themselves and say to you, I'm 18-year-old, I'm the pilot today, I'm taking you from Entebbe to United Kingdom, from Entebbe to Dubai, and you don't complain. As big as that. Let me tell you something. When you are in the UK, to give you positions, those top positions, they don't want to give them to somebody over 35 years. What are you going to offer? So, young people, we have got the biggest population of young people, 70%. And then we have got 2% of all the people. I always say we have to look at this advisory committee and our shadow cabinet. Who are these people who were appointed? What are they doing? Thinking Kunyinji, you are setting the ball rolling. If our comrade Asmani Basaliro comes up with a bill for all the people, it could help young people. How can it help? Because it's all the people, all the tax engaging into positions of young tax. If Asmani Basalia comes up with a bill for retirement and a pension, it would help us. The pension can attract these elder people to give up their positions. The balancing policy, I can come in with a policy that you set up a policy. At 65, you retire. If you don't want to retire, you don't get your benefits. At 65, the maximum hours you are allowed to do is 15 hours. Then we set up the healthy nation. Then we have all the people to enjoy their country. But what we see, we are seeing all the people, they don't want to give up political positions. They are occupying positions for younger people. We are a nation that doesn't want to listen to young people. Africanism, they don't listen to young people. But then the challenges for today, the cyber world, is challenging them. Because young people, when I grew up, I never used to see what was happening in the rest of the world. But now people as young as 3 years, 4 years, they know what is happening in Europe. They can tell being developed and not developed. They can tell that they're entitled for this. The challenge for dictatorial regime like NRM is like they haven't grasped that the world has changed. Young people now, they grow up, they are being exposed. So when we talk about National Unity Platform, people power, we are not talking about young people in a perspective of young people. We are talking about generational cause. I find young people that sometimes they excuse themselves. I'm young. But let me tell you something. For me, I put young people in the front. I challenge them. You should be chief executive. You should be DM. You should be team leader. You should be like this. And that is exactly what they do. For me, that is what I know as a young person. You don't step back. Or I know something different, not politics, young people, the way they look, the haircut, grooming, the way they dress. So, the future of young people in Uganda has been ruined. But a government has got nothing to offer. They have failed young people from birth to their young days. NUP manifesto, it proposes to help young people. NUP proposes to create 5 million jobs, and it is possible. The temperatures, they are rising in Uganda because young people, they are forgotten. Young people, they are dismissed. Young people, they are not looked at. Young people, they have got a lot to offer. If we ever think that young people, they have got a lot to offer, then we must invest in them. The budget comes. Young people, they are not accounted for. The policies, that when you have people who understand policies, it is what is the sticking point. What is our biggest problem? The policies you bring in is what Minister of Finance should look at and give more funding. As we speak for now, where is the funding for young people? Where is the funding for agriculture? When young people, they are leaving villages, they are becoming border riders. Where is the funding in sports? Where is the funding in the arts? Where are the funding in academics? What NRM is concentrating on is to buy off young people, the minds of young people. But the problem that exists when you have one of the highest unemployment in the whole world, you are not going to avoid crime. Crime is the fruits of one of the highest unemployment. Poverty comes from unemployment. Exploitation comes from being jobless. Slavery comes from being exploited. Dangers of slavery. Now young people, they take out their organs out. Organ traffic in Uganda is now known is in the broad daylight. How will a country continue to live when we are ignoring its youngest population? It's a challenge that yesterday I said the problems of Uganda, the challenges of Uganda, they're asking us solutions. Young people, they need to be looked at. Young people, they need to be addressed. Young people, they need to be listened to. And the young people, you need to speak out. Young people as well, you need to look at yourself. Young people, try and do something as little as you can to maintain, to sustain yourself. Young people, you need to change your attitude. Your attitude matters a lot. Young people, you are all talented. But we need a government that is going to help your talents grow and develop. And the hope is in the NUP only that we look at. It's only NUP we are looking at, that it has promised to look after the young people. So today, I've talked about young people as a challenge, but I'm looking at that the government has ruined their lives, their future. You cannot be born in a poor circumstances. You cannot grow up in a bad circumstances. You cannot be faced with the lack of education, lack of access to service, lack of everything, and then you expect to make it. Yes, you can make it, but you're going to be a big, big fighter. So I challenge everybody, leaders, look at the young people. Don't use them for political votes. Leaders, talk for the young people. Leaders, give space for young people to talk. Old people, retire. We want people to retire so that we can give these jobs to the young people. And we want young people to develop Uganda, not in the days of 1900. We want young people to develop Uganda like in the days of 21st century. We cannot be led by these elderly people who don't know anything to do with what this generation is about. You find yourself, they tell you that now we are being led by people who are like 94. Where are we going? It's very, very sad indeed. So as we go, as we look forward, we look at the young people as what they can benefit the country. What we are going to do, God knows. But we have to stick in. We have to look for solution. We are the solution. Young people, let us remember them as valuable. We shall not dismiss young people, but we condemn NRM for dismissing, for failure to attend and to address the young people problems. They are not addressing anything. All they want is to shut them down. Young people, they need money on themselves. Young people, they are homesick. They want to leave home. But they don't want to die abroad. They don't want to be slaves. They don't want to be jobless. They don't want to be like criminals. They don't want to be prostitutes. But they're being forced to. So it is our duty to think about young people, to think about how we are going to build the nation. We are going to build it on the backbone of young people. How we prepare them from young days, how we prepare them from their teenagers, how we prepare them from their youth days, how we give them chance to prosper, how we give them chance to decide what is needed to decide in their lives. Thank you very much for joining me. Thank you very much for your comments. Thank you so much for sharing. I'll be back on Saturday. Temi Kiza, as always. Tomorrow, Segrinya is coming back. Segrinya and Sewanyana, they are coming back in the court. So we pray for them, but the sequence, they bring them 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, nothing is being decided. They need to be given bail. They are proven they are not going to run away. So we are crying for Uganda. Let justice be served. Justice delayed is denied justice. So that is what we want. As simple as that. That's it. People power, our power. NUP everywhere, NUP, wherever you are, NUP. Salute. Have a lovely day. Thank you so much.